Before I sign off for a much needed break from content creation, as I said in another video, I may still do video games. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I need a break. I'm exhausted. So I realize I need to restore my energy. I need to regain clarity. I just really enjoy life a little bit more. I've been acquiring an awful lot of movies, a DVD, Blu-ray collection. I was sitting there just now, and I thought I just want to sit and enjoy things. Have a simple life for a moment. That'd be nice. But anyway, without detracting too much, it's going to be a very short video. I just wanted to get to the point is I had a family member a long time ago say your biggest problem is you don't like being told what to do. And something just happened just now. It just triggered me a little bit. I just thought someone's dancing monkey. I don't, and it's a big thing. And it's straight away, it just brought me back to that moment of you don't like being told what to do. Because I thought I don't allow people to tell me what to do. That's the thing. I just don't allow it. I am my own person. And when you break it down, when did we normalize it though? Like, when did we normalize being a puppet of someone else having power or sway over us? No one should have control of us. We are literally in control of self. So why should we normalize being told what to do? It's just crazy. So I'm always pushing against conforming. I push away from so much. It's crazy. I make my life difficult as a consequence. But I just won't live life any other way. I do things on my terms. So, for instance, if I'm ordered to be somewhere and I don't want to go, I won't go. If I'm ordered to do something here, I won't do it. And it's like, even if it's like, um, let's say there's a financial consequence for that because it's an obligation or something. But if it's an obligation I didn't agree to, then no. And I don't like being messed about. When people mess me about, I get really arsy. For instance, there was something that's supposed to happen to my house. I was supposed to have a surveyor come out and just check the flooring for me, but they didn't turn up. And then I've got messages saying, they tried to access the. No, they didn't. The time was 8 till 1, and I was actually really irritated because I hate waiting around for things. It drives me to madness. And I literally kept myself available from 8 till 1. I think I wanted to do a video. There was some content I wanted to create, and I couldn't do a damn thing because I don't know when the door's going to knock. So like, it reached a point where I'm like, okay, that time's gone. I'm getting on. And then later on, I find out they knocked or something, and I didn't know. I probably got my headphones on at that point, but they didn't come in the time frame. So I'm like, I don't give a shit because I made myself available. And I hate the way that people do that. They keep you on a shoestring. Just that was something so simple, but it's just an example of if I agree to do something and I make myself available, and then someone doesn't adhere to it, I get really really pissed. So I was like, no, I did everything right there. Um, I've got some chips to sort out on my car window, for instance. That's another situation entirely, and I just get irritated with them instead of me around in circles. Um, yeah, so I like Yeah, that's another problem. I just don't do well with people not holding their side of the deal or something, or they change times or they change the date of this and all this. Um, there was a recall on my car, for instance. I've got to get the airbag changed, and I made the appointment, and I didn't even realize this because it looked like they confirmed it, and it turned out they confirmed it by altering the date and time. And I'm like, well, I never said midweek. I said Saturday, specifically Saturday. And then sent them a message, and I've said, look, I need to change it to this date because I'm not available, blah, blah, blah. And then they messaged me to say, oh, you wasn't booked in on the Saturday, you was booked in on the Wednesday, but they never changed. They didn't even change to my new request. And I didn't answer them again because I thought, fuck off. I've just told you I can't do the date. I've told you the date I won't. And now you come back with me telling me the date is still on schedule for this. And I thought, I'm not going round in circles here. Um, Likewise with the TV license in the UK, I have to pay for bloody TV license. So I said to them, I don't need TV license. I explained why I don't need TV license, and then they gave up with the rules as to why you would need one. Can you clarify whether you still do or not? And I thought, I've already fucking told you I don't need one, you dickhead. Like, and I get really, really pumped up with things like that because I'm like, I'm not a round in circles sort of person when it comes to things like that. If I say something, it's like take it as a given that I know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to be going around in riddles. That drives me absolutely mental. And again, that's people trying to make you jump through hoops to appease them. I don't jump through hoops to appease people. It's like I've said it once, get the message. And if I make myself available, then I expect people to hold their side of the bargain up too. Um, I know that's not quite the same thing as this thing, but it all leads together, you know, because there's so many aspects of our life where we are controlled or there's an expectation of us, and it's like I just do not conform. I don't care. You know, I don't really care because I don't really give a shit about consequences. In all honesty, never have. I don't care. It's almost like what's the worst that's going to happen? You know, what's the worst that's going to happen? And in any event, I don't even give a shit what the worst can happen is because I still stand by my convictions. So I don't actually care because it's like I understood the consequences. So I understand the ramifications of what our decision is, and I just don't care. It's like I just don't. It's like if it means something to me, it means something to me. You know, if I prioritize something else over someone else's demands, it's like I prioritize something else. Something means more to me in that moment than what you're demanding of me. So I don't care. It seems to bother people an awful lot. So, like I say, when you grow up and people say your biggest problem is that you don't like being told what to do, I'd say that's actually one of my biggest strengths, isn't it? The fact that I am independent, the fact that I can think and feel for myself, the fact that I can accept the consequences, because that's something. Some people, many people, they can't accept shit. You know, they talk around things and act like it's not their fault, and they don't take ownership. I'll take ownership where I do wrong, but I hold people accountable as well, you know. So I really just wanted to leave with that in mind. Make people think a little bit more about their life, the decisions they make, the consequences for good and bad, and take ownership of it. Because everything's a decision. Even when you try to not make a decision, that indecision is still a decision, you know. So everything is our thing. Reality is, I would rather suffer from something I decide rather than suffer from something someone else decides. Just because someone tells you to do something or there's an expectation doesn't mean they're right. So I'm not going to allow people to lead me down a garden path when I recognize that I see things from, in my opinion, a better perspective, a broader perspective. I'm fully aware of the consequences of everything, you know. I see so many angles to things. It's like I'm always observant, I'm always analytical. So the idea that someone who's maybe very one dimensional tries to tell me what to do when I'm seeing it from so many angles, it's like that makes no sense to me. What you're doing is it's going to end badly, and I don't follow that. Or um, you know, you're asking me to be someone I'm not just to get some sort of benefit from that, and it's like that doesn't benefit me either because I won't sell myself for anything. So if my life's going to be hard because I am who I am, then I'd accept that. Accept that as a badge of honor because I never once sold myself. I was never someone else to gain something, you know. Again, I talk about that as well. How much of yourself will you sell for the currency of money? It's a worthy question indeed. So the fact is, if I won't even sell myself in any moral compass side of things for money, I'm definitely not going to allow anyone to manipulate me in any other area of my life either, am I? So, yeah, I beat to my own drum. I'm happy with that. So literally, I get to live life on my terms, how I see fit, and I personally think that's a beautiful place to be. So anyone that thinks that it's a negative, I just think, in all seriousness, they need to get their heads checked. And I think find some confidence that you have the power and you have the intelligence to make decisions for yourself and not feel so coerced and intimidated to be something you're not, just to fit someone else's ideals and way of life. Because why should I? Why would you want to mirror someone else other than you? You know, people put us in a box as much as we allow them. I don't fit in a box.